My name is Adam Reeds. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Ledn. Prior to co-founding Ledn with my good friend Mauricio, I was in the renewable energy sector. So I was building, financing, and developing renewable power projects. And it was Bitcoin's connection with electricity and energy that got me into the sector. I have to credit my co-founder and good friend Mauricio for getting me into Bitcoin. He is from Venezuela. I'm the only, I guess, born and raised Canadian on our team. We're lucky that we have people from all over the world that have diverse perspectives on how to build products that help people save in Bitcoin. But being born and raised in Canada, I really grew up with the thought that money and government was fair, and was lucky to have that perception. And then I really learned quite quickly into the journey that that was exactly that. It is a perception that things can change quite quickly, and that a lot of people don't have the benefit of having access to ways to save. And really, with what we sought out to do was to make Bitcoin more accessible to people that really it's the most valuable for, and build a lot of products in that. So I got into it, as I mentioned, because I was in the electricity sector and building projects in renewable energy. And through that, Mauricio had been exposed to mining Bitcoin and needed to have access to electricity to continue on that venture in Canada. And so I was his friend that knew about the electricity sector in Canada and how to set up infrastructure there. And as we got into it and I learned a lot about it, I was shocked and surprised that it was difficult to finance Bitcoin projects. So I participated with him in really a hobby project to continue mining Bitcoin on a small scale. And then from there, I transitioned out of what I was doing in the corporate world to focus on building financial products for Bitcoin, and really on the mission that I started out with, on how do we make this more accessible and how do we allow people to access to more traditional finance products in the Bitcoin world. And so we set out to build a platform that was super easy to use, super easy to access, and really it started out with a product of financing Bitcoin, so a Bitcoin-backed loan. We expanded that on to offer Bitcoin savings accounts. And then today we have another two products. We have a loan product that helps people buy more Bitcoin called B2X. And we have another product that allows people to save in US dollar stablecoins, USDC. Really, and we see that almost as a transition product where people might not yet be comfortable with Bitcoin, but they see the value of the US dollar, and it's a gateway drug, if you want to call it that. There's been some really exciting updates with Ledn as of late. We had been working with a group called Genesis, based out of New York, for really from the early days of Ledn, on really connecting and building access to the financial products. So in the background, we were borrowing and lending to Genesis in order to provide the services that we build. And from there, we looked at how to build a better savings account and offer more transparency in the savings account, I guess, landscape. And when we looked around, we said, well, what if we said to the market that we will lend to Genesis really as our primary borrower and put them front and center, and really focus on how to give access globally to this amazing platform that Genesis has built up. And for those that don't know, Genesis is the largest institutional lender and borrower of digital assets. And so we really had a decision. We said, well, if we want to grow the savings accounts, we can build them out and build up the lending practices on that end ourselves in order to generate the yield that's needed, or we can just partner with the best in class. And that will allow us resources to focus more on building the technology that simplifies these savings accounts and makes them easy and secure, and provide a much better experience for our clients, and then work with Genesis on how to generate that yield. And so that's exactly what we set out to do. So a couple months back, we announced a collaboration with them, and today we offer what we believe is the highest rates globally for Bitcoin and USDC savings accounts. And we're working on supporting other assets as well. But today we pay 6.5% on Bitcoin APY, and we pay 10% APY on USDC. And we've agreed to lock those rates until the end of the year, just to really show the market that these are stable, that we're not adjusting rates fly by night, and that we're here for good. On the topic of privileged, I will consider myself privileged to have been born and raised and educated in Canada. And I've met lots of great people along the way. And I think the way our financial system set up is privilege, for exactly the reason that it's from a business offering services on capital. It's challenging to offer the same services when you have a small amount of money to someone that has a large amount of money. So if you think about the traditional system where to invest, you're meeting with an advisor. Obviously, if people price their time the same, you'd rather meet with someone that has $1 million to invest than meet with someone that has $100 to invest, because of the time and the assets that you can attract for that. So for that reason, our system is set up to offer VIP accounts, if I can call it that, versus individual accounts for people that don't have as much money or access to money. So what's super interesting about what we're doing is, because we're using Bitcoin and because the asset is the same, whether you have a little bit or a lot of it, we can build and offer the same rates just by aggregating. So we're setting everything up so that it doesn't essentially cost us more to deal with someone who doesn't have as much Bitcoin to participate in as someone who has a lot. So really, by doing that, we're very set on offering the same rates, regardless whether you have a few Satoshis or a super large stack. And that's something that we're really proud of. So there's no tiers. There's no benefit of, okay, if I go this amount, I get treated differently, and I'm in the VIP or exclusive room versus where you're not. So that mission of providing and democratizing everything is something that we're very, very set on and excited to do. So I think that's what, if you think about, country borders, and then, social borders within that, and access to kind of the top, there's a lot of circles. There's a lot of barriers that you have to break through to get to that. And that's what we're really trying to think a lot about, is how do we reduce those barriers to offer everyone the same. Something that was incredible to me is, obviously we have stats and on where all of our clients are signing up from, and to see people find the platform and look at, a wealthy American one day sign up, and then see someone that doesn't have as many assets but they're still participating in another country is super exciting. And just to see that, see people access it the same way. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have a computer and with the internet, you can access this system. You don't have to walk into a brick and mortar store and convince someone to set up. So just seeing that and watching people find us from all over the world has been the most rewarding thing that I've ever done. And so that's been amazing. And I'm always that's the first thing I ask everybody is, how did you hear about us? What excited you to interact with us? Thank you for putting the time to come in, and what can we do to improve? Because that's amazing. And that it's amazing to me how much people want to learn about I guess financial products, and they want to save, and the internet does do that. It exactly democratizes people's access, and the more we can focus on making it super easy and secure and exciting to do that, that's what motivates me. No, sorry, I don't have anything more to say.